On the afternoon of October 14, 2019, a special lecture was held in the library of Nanjing University of Science and Technology. The keynote speaker of the lecture was the director of the Herbert Gleiter Institute of Nanoscience of NJUST, Professor Harald Fuchs, who has recently won the 2019 Chinese Government Friendship Award.
But more for the young students. If we go from larger scale, like an elephant, which has 2 meters high, or we are also 2 meters sometimes, then birds, and so you see hair. A hair has a diameter of 50 micrometers. So if you take a hair out and you hold it, you have 50 micrometers. Thank you so much again.
Harald Fuchs is the academician of German Academy of Sciences and German Academy of Engineering. He's also a world-renowned scholar on surface chemistry and nanobiology. His major research fields include nanoscience and nanotechnology. He has made tremendous contributions in scanning probe technology, self-assembled nanomaterials, nano-biological systems, and etc.
I met a famous Chinese professor, Professor Pan, from Beijing in my place in Münster. So he was sending, right after this visit, me an invitation to one of the first big nanotechnology conferences in Beijing. And this was in 1996, so I followed this invitation. And this was a great moment for me to be the first time in China and also to visit his lab, the so-called vacuum lab, belonging to the CIS, and I was deeply impressed about this event.
Harald Fuchs' visit to China became a bridge for cooperation of nano research between China and Germany. In 2000, the German state of North Rhine-Westphalia signed a cooperation agreement with the Chinese Academy of Sciences to support exchanges and cooperation among researchers in academic researches and seminars within the next 5 years. From then on, Chinese research groups engaged in surface physics and surface chemistry have constantly sent PhD candidates and visiting scholars to Harald Fuchs' research group for postdoctoral researches and exchange visits.
In the last 23 years, it developed dramatically. And for me personally, even more impressive is a huge progress in research all over China, which is absolutely competitive to the research being done in Europe and US.
In 2012, invited by his PhD supervisor, Professor Herbert Gleiter, Harald Fuchs joined the Herbert Gleiter Institute of Nanoscience and NJUST as principal investigator and established his research team on nanostructuring and self-organized devices.
纳米科学上来以后，材料学可能发生了很大的变化。所以从这个角度来说呢，学校怎么样能够充分发挥我们材料学科的优势，并进入到世界行列？所以呢，我们当时就决定成立那个格莱特纳米科技研究所。
Well, it was a completely new experience. I had already quite a few other big projects with China. For example, the first jointly funded by DFG and NSFC collaborative project with more than 20 groups between Tsinghua University and my university. But I had never a direct look into the structure of a university, and this came in more detail when I came here together with Professor Gleiter and my co-PIs, and we learned quite a lot how a real university looks like when you work there.
Since the establishment of the Herbert Gleiter Institute of Nanoscience, Harald Fuchs spends about 3 months each year in Nanjing. Compared with other cities in China, Fuchs found Nanjing very attractive.
I like Nanjing very much. Not only because it's the former capital of China, but I also like the landscape. It is hilly, it has wonderful lakes. Maybe it's not so busy like the very big cities in China, but it has a special charm, and I like this very much.
In 2016, as one of the sponsors, he established the Research Center of Functional Nanomaterials at the Herbert Gleiter Institute of Nanoscience in collaboration with the research institutions in Australia and Germany. He also designed an in-situ ultra-high vacuum photo-emission electron microscopy, an ultra-low temperature scanning tunneling microscopy system, when the institute was first established. This was the first one in China.
In the ideal case, like a Max Planck Institute, where you can have basic research mainly, and not so much the task to go into development, but make original and new basic research. So this was also our approach and still is the major target of HGI.
它引进了一个很好的一个科研环境，一种文化氛围。我想对于一个高校来说，尤其材料学科来说，它是从事基础研究的。基础研究需要一个长期的稳定的一个研究，而不是说我能快速出成果的。所以它就形成了一种让教师能够安下心来，精心搞研究的一种文化氛围。
Such as inertial selective heterogeneous catalysts and non-linear optical devices and inertial specific sensors.
There's a very famous molecule which has a basis atom, central atom, which is hydrogen.
It's a molecule, but such molecule is not stable.
So it decays.
The seemingly fruitless training model of the institute has made tremendous achievements in the material science field. Since he became the director of the Herbert Gleiter Institute of Nanoscience of NJUST in 2017, he has endeavored to make policies and guidelines for the development of the institute and use its international influence to attract more talent for the institute. By the end of 2018, HGI has published more than 300 SCI papers, within which more than 40 papers were published on high-impacted journals. Conducting basic research has always been the focus of Professor Fuchs. On January 25, 2019, Chinese Premier Li Keqiang had a discussion with some foreign experts working in China.
Harald Fuchs, as one of the speakers, advised the Ministry of Science and Technology about basic scientific research.
Actually, 2 years ago, we, with my academy in Germany, the National Academy of Sciences, Leopoldina, which is the oldest academy, more than 250 years in the West, and here we have the strongest academy in the East, CAS. We came into more closer contact to write up a memorandum for basic research, to foster basic research, which is, some people would say, useless, but in many cases, the useful is hidden in the useless. Well, this is a box here, and when we open, we can see the metal, which is here. Yeah, and then I also can take it out. And this is the friendship medal, which was donated in this year to 100 people from abroad. And then here we have the official document here, which was given together with this box, including the medal itself, showing that this contains the document, and the document is shown here. That is original, yeah, in English and in Chinese. Yeah. Something like that you cannot buy. You just get it or don't get it. And that's why it's such a great honor, in particular when you come from abroad, to be seen by the government. And I'm very grateful, of course, for my group collecting all the data for the human resources university here, the Nanjing University of Science and Technology, and also Jiangsu province, who collected everything and sent it off.
On September 30, 2019, Harald Fuchs was awarded the Chinese government's Friendship Award at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing. The award is the highest recognition of foreign experts given by Chinese government. Fuchs was then invited to the celebration of the 70th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China the next day to watch the military parade and the mass pageant.
I would say, in one word, this is a one-life experience. Yeah, you do not expect it, because this kind of work we are doing, we do anyway, and we are not looking for this kind of awards. You cannot control it. You cannot plan it. It happens sometimes if you're very lucky, and again, I would say this is based also on the success of our people here, and of course this is an exceptional award, and I'm very, very happy about that to receive it. There are not so many people in my country who ever saw this.
As the director of the Herbert Gleiter Institute of Nanoscience, Professor Fuchs has always focused on nurturing young researchers of the next generation. The young generation, he believes, is the future of the Herbert Gleiter Institute of Nanoscience, of NJUST, and of the entire material science subject.
This was also part of the conference we had in July for the Beijing Declaration, and we had 2 Nobel Prize winners, Professor von Glitzing from Germany and Professor Yang Jianing from China. Of course, young people were asking him this question. He is a Chinese pioneer in theoretical physics. What should we do? And this was a general response by the two Nobel Prize winners, but also from us. First, find out what you like. And find out where are the people you could join, where are the groups in the world you could join, as Professor Yang also did in 1948, going to Chicago. Where are the right people you could learn from? And go there. Jump. And then you will find probably a new continent.